तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Now, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was explaining about the Maya. Maya, the power of Bhagavan. And because of the Maya, all this creation and this sustenance, destruction, because of this Maya, we are all bound. How to get rid of this Maya, this delusion, from this bondage? Now, in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Daivi esha gunamai mamo maya durattaya. My divine Maya constituted of three gunas, sattva, raja, tama, and that binds. And how to go beyond this? Mameva e prapadyante mayam etam taranti te. Those who are taking refuge in me, they only can get rid of this Maya. So this is a very peculiar situation. The Maya is coming from whom? The God. And who is suffering? The people, His creation. Now how to get rid of this Maya? Only by the grace of God. And how we can get His grace? Then He is telling that those who are devoted to me. Now, here in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we were reading that there was a conversation was going on between a person, Vijay Krishna Goswami, and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And Vijay was going on asking different question, and Sri Ramakrishna giving answer. And when he asked what happens when the mind goes to Sahasrara, that is the path of the yogis, and the mind goes up to the Sahasrara, Vijay wanted to know what happens when the mind reaches over there. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling what happens when the mind reaches the seventh plane cannot be described. No one can describe it, because that very moment mind goes beyond time, space and causation. And human mind cannot describe anything, cannot say anything without this three time frame, time and causation. The mind is within that, and when that knowledge goes beyond this time, space and causation, how can the mind describe that? Now, who can see the seventh, whose mind goes to that seventh condition? Here in the yoga, it says, pure-minded yogis. The mind, any mind cannot reach, only it has to be totally pure mind, one-pointed mind, and then only it is possible. Pure-minded yogi sees the chakras, and they have described the chakras. How? First is the Muladhara, and a very scientific way they are describing. In the Muladhara, it is a crimson color with 4 lotuses. So this way they are describing without seeing, without observing, without a direct perception. No one can say like this. Muladhara, crimson color with 4 petals. Second comes the Swadhisthana, vermilion color. Color of the lotus is vermilion, and it is having 6 petals. And thirdly, the mind rises to Manipura, and this Manipura is grayish blue color, and the petals are 10 petals. Then come Anahata, that is in the heart, Anahata, a red color lotus. It is having 12 petals. The mostly Sri Ramakrishna and Ma Sharadamani Devi, they are suggesting that one should meditate on this Anahata chakra, on the mind itself, on the heart itself, and this is good. And when we are meditating, we see a red color lotus of 12 petals. From there it goes up to Vishuddha. When it is Vishuddha, that means on the throat, a smoky purple of 16 petals. Then Agya Chakra in between the two eyebrow. Then the Agya Chakra, it is white lotus with only 2 petals. And finally, when it goes to Sahasrara, that means center of the head, it is sparkling white, 1000 petals. See, the way they are describing, it cannot be said that they imagine it, as they saw it directly, experienced it, and that is why so clearly they are giving this description of the lotuses. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna has described from his own experiences how Kundalini power moves through Sushumna and Sushumna Nadi, that is the channel, towards the Sahasrara. Here, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is giving an example that how the mind is traveling, the Shakti, the mind means the Shakti is traveling from the base to the top. At the first, he says, the mind may travel like a monkey, climbing, just jumping from one branch to another. As the monkey, they travel from jumping, like that the mind also traveling upward, just jumping. Then he is telling that the mind, it travels like a fish. The fish is drifting and it's just swimming very easily and taking the all happiness of swimming in the water, and particularly the fishes are very, by nature, goes against the current. As if it is going like that with great joy, it is moving towards the Sahasrara like a fish. Then he says it also goes like a bird hopping from one branch to another branch. Then another, like the ant, very slow creeping upwards. Look at it, the way the description, if one person is not experiencing, it is impossible for the person to describe. And finally, he is telling that it's just wriggling of a snake. It's just going like the snake, the move. And that gives a tremendous sensation in the body. And it reaches. That's why the snake is the symbol of the yogi. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is also that sometime, and his was very special. The other yogis, they have described mostly like the snake. But Sri Ramakrishna, he has experienced the other 4 also. Now he is telling, Bija is again giving a question. If without destroying the I, a man cannot get rid of attachment to the world and consequently cannot experience samadhi, then it would be wise for him to follow the path of Brahmagyana to attain samadhi. If the I persists in the path of devotion, then one should rather choose the path of knowledge. And here we find in the Hinduism there are mainly basically 2 paths, 2 systems they are obtaining using for the realization of God. One is path of jnana, another path of bhakti. Then afterwards Swami Vivekananda introduced the path of karma and also the dhyana. This dhyana, in the jnana yoga, the moment he is withdrawing the mind, he is concentrating, this is the dhyana. And action is also in bhakti and also in jnana marga. Because in the action means discrimination. Constantly one is discriminating, which is a temporary thing. Why I should do this? Why I should not do that? That way, when the discrimination is going on, that is also work. So previously they used to say the main path is two, jnana and bhakti. Other two, yoga and work, they are actually with these. Vivekananda, Swamiji, he introduced the path of karma separately, and also Raja Yoga, the dhyana. Patanjali Yoga Darshan and Vivekananda's Raja Yoga, there are little differences are there. Now here Ramakrishna, when the Vijay is telling that, is it not better to use the path of jnana, discriminate, and then eradicate that I, which is the root of all bondage, which is the root of all cause of all problem? Sri Ramakrishna is telling, it is true that one or two can get rid of I through samadhi. Samadhi means yoga. It is true, one or two. That means so very rare. Very rare, because withdrawing the mind and keeping it under control is so difficult. In the Bhagavad Gita we find a personality like Arjuna is also telling Krishna, this is impossible. It's just like holding the ear. To control the mind is so difficult. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling that it is possible but very difficult. But these cases are very rare. You may indulge in thousands of reasoning, but still the I comes back. In the yoga and in the jnana, we are going on reasoning. I am mukta, I am free, I am free. But when the death is near, everybody is afraid. So obviously it is so difficult. So that I consciousness is so deep rooted, it's very rare to go beyond that. I must remain. Now Sri Ramakrishna is giving the solution. When the I must remain, let the rascal remain as the servant I. It is difficult to go beyond I consciousness. I is there, let it be there. But give them the shape of servant. That means dedicated to the master, and he is encouraging bhakti marga. When a person is traveling through the bhakti, the path of bhakti, I is there. But that I, it says that I am the servant of God. When the servant of God, the naturally is not bound, is not creating the ego. The problem of the I is the ego. There is no ego. I am totally dedicated to the master. Whatever the master is taking the decision, I am only doing that. Good or bad, I don't care. So that way, when the servant I is there, Sri Ramakrishna is telling that I am the son of God, I am the daughter of God, I am the child of God. That is also a wonderful way. When you are totally dedicating yourself to the God, O God, thou art the master and I am thy servant. The I feels I am the servant of God, I am his devotees, does not injure one. The injure one means bound one. Do not make any result. That is the thing. And this was shown, this particular aspect of devotion was shown greatly by our Mahavir Hanumanji. The moment he is telling, I am the servant of Sri Rama, but who is Mahavirji? Atulita Baladhamam. His power, unexpressible, his tremendous power, the Atulita Baladhamam. This power is there. Then Buddhi, Buddhimana Barishtam, among all the intelligent people, he is the highest, topmost. So this type of person also giving making total surrender at the feet of the God. There is no ego. Not that a person, the moment we talk about the servant, moment we utter the word servant, immediately we think servant means very low grade people, they don't have their personality, they don't have their capacity, what to do, so they are serving others. It is not like that. Here the servant means he is having everything, but at the same time dedicated, so that eradicating the ego. And when the ego is gone, everything is gone. Ami mole guchibe janjal. Sri Ramakrishna again and again is telling, if you can eradicate that I, the ego, then all problems are solved. The path of knowledge is very difficult. One cannot obtain knowledge unless one gets rid of the feeling that one is the body. The knowledge means of what? Knowledge means that I am the self. And what is that self? All pervading, all powerful, all purity, all knowledge. Now, as long as we are having the body consciousness, how can we get that idea that I am all pervading? How can we think that I am all powerful? It is not possible. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling that through jnana, through yoga, yes, it is possible, but very few can do it. Path of knowledge is very difficult. One cannot obtain knowledge unless one gets rid of the feeling that one is the body. In the Kali Yuga, the life of man is centered on food. He cannot get rid of the feeling that he is the body and the ego. Now, how can you practice Jnana Yoga? Then, suppose, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, suppose you draw a line on the surface of water with a bamboo stick. The water appears to be divided into two parts, but the line doesn't remain for any length of time. The servant eye, or the devotee eye, or the child eye is only a line drawn with the ego and is not real. So he is encouraging Vijay Krishna Goswami to follow the path of bhakti, and the path of bhakti means it is nothing but the purified jnana. Who is this I? Is making only a boundary, making a line on water with a bamboo, but actually there is no line at all. The moment you lift that bamboo or the stick, it is only one water. There is no separation. So I is giving an idea that I am separated from God. The moment you remove the I, everything is God, nothing else. Vijay to the master again, Sir, you ask us to renounce the wicked I, egoistic I. Is there any harm in the servant I? Vijay Krishna Goswami, he is again telling, but I is there. As a servant I, it is there. Devotee I, it is there, but I is there. Is it not almost the same? Then the master is telling, the servant I, that is the feeling, I am the servant of God, I am the devotee of God, does not injure one. On the contrary, it helps one to realize God. Vijay well said, what becomes of the last anger and other passions of the one who keeps the servant I? The moment you are speaking about the I, What is that I? Mind. What is that mind? The ego. And the ego is there, mind is there, and naturally all the feelings, all the passions, it also will be there. So Vijay is trying to clarify those things, and he is telling that then our lust, our anger, our greed, our sorrow, everything will be there. The moment it is I, unless and until I realize. That was the argument of the followers of Jnana. Those who were following the path of Jnana, again, now even today, they always give the emphasis on that you have to eradicate the I. And that is why when it is very cold, they will be standing in the chilled cold water, and they will be trying to feel that they are not the body, not the mind, they are not suffering. Just by giving that type of austerity, practicing austerity, what they try to do? Eradicating the I. When it is hot summer, they will go out and be lying over there and then covering a blanket. In the summer, under the sun, scorching sun, that too covering the blanket, they will be lying like that. Let me feel the burn, and this body only burning. All the pain is in the body. I am free, I am free, I am free. That way they try to practice. It's very, very difficult. And Master is telling, see, if you are devoted, you need not to take all the trouble like that. When the Vijay is asking, what about the lust, anger and all the passions, then the Master is telling, if a man truly feels like that, then he has only the semblance of lust and anger. If, after attaining God, he looks on himself as the servant or the devotee of God, then he cannot injure anyone. By touching the philosopher's stone, a sword is turned into gold. It keeps the appearance of the sword, but it cannot injure. So, excellent way the Sri Ramakrishna is explaining. Very intricate, very difficult questions. Naturally, I is remaining, and I is remaining within my mind, within my consciousness as a servant I. And this I is full of my desire, my anger, or everything. So naturally, how it will be eradicated? And if it is not eradicating, how can I realize God or the truth or the Atman? The Master is telling, it may be those passions will be there only in appearance, but they won't hurt you. It cannot. Like the philosopher's stone, Parashpathar, when touching the sword, it turned that into gold. And when that gold sword is there, it cannot do any harm. Only in appearance, when the dry branch of a coconut palm drops to the ground, it leaves only a mark on the trunk indicating that once there was a branch at that place. I don't know how many of you have seen that. If you look at the coconut tree, palm tree also, all the dry leaves when falling, a mark will be there on the body of the tree to say that there was a leaf. Now it is not there. Similarly, after the knowledge, after the devotion, after the realization of God, the mark of passions will be there. But actually those passions cannot bind the person or harmful. It is like manner, he who has attained God keeps only an appearance of ego. There remains in him only a semblance of anger and lust. He becomes like a child. The child is angry this moment, next moment again very happy. The child is attached this very moment, next moment again, no attachment. So like that the semblance will be there. So the clear way Sri Ramakrishna is giving the description how it happens, this is really gives us a clear idea about the spiritual life. One can attain the knowledge of Brahman too by following the path of bhakti. Now again he is bringing that bhakti. One can attain the knowledge of Brahman. This is very important. The Brahman is the goal for the devotees, for the jnanis. And Bhagavan is the goal for the devotees. And Brahman means the knowledge of oneness, knowledge of exclusiveness, knowledge of consciousness. So obviously a devotee means Dvaita. God is separate, I am separate. The devotion means the God is separate and I am separate. How then the devotee also can have the same knowledge like a jnani? But Sri Ramakrishna is telling that one can attain the knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of God, knowledge of Brahman, not the knowledge of God. The separate God, many of the devotees, they have seen God, they have failed God. There are so many great lives are like that. Here Sri Ramakrishna is telling knowledge of Brahman can be attained by following the path of bhakti. God is all powerful. He may give his devotee Brahmajnana too, if he so wills. Now the wonderful argument, God is all powerful and he is satisfying the devotee, fulfilling the devotee's prayer. And what is the prayer of the devotee? Give me Brahmajnana. So obviously he is also getting that Brahmajnana. Now we find that Nachiketa going to Yamaraja, the king of death, and first he is asking, give me the materialistic comfort. My father should recognize me, there will be no problem in our family. Okay. Second, he says, give me an idea how to reach the heaven. That's also dualistic. I will go stay over there and a better life. Third, he is asking about the knowledge of Atman, that also the God, the personal God, the Yamaraja, he is giving that Brahmajnana. He is a devotee. Nachiketa is not a jnani. He is a devotee. He is going to God. And devotees are coming to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and asking different type of blessings. Saradanandaji Maharaj, apparently he was just like a devotee, very calm, very composed. But he went to Sri Ramakrishna, and when Sri Ramakrishna asked him, what is your prayer? He said, please bless me so that I can see Chaitanya in every living being, in every being. I can see Chaitanya in every being means the path of knowledge. And he is asking to a personal God, Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna is blessing him is very difficult, but still you will get that knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna himself in his life, he is worshipping goddess Kali, is a personal goddess, is that too in the image, stone image, in front of everyone, and the then capital of undivided India, Calcutta, just near Calcutta, opposite bank of Ganga. So similarly, all people are going, watching him, not that he is somewhere in a secluded place, practiced this and came and claimed that I have got it. No, not like that, before everyone. And there he was going on praying and practicing the austerity, one pointed mind, and his prayer was, Mother, let me know how you are. All people are telling that you are nothing but a stone image, but I don't believe it. Please give me that knowledge by which I will know actually what you are. See, a devotee's prayer to the God, I want to know you. And when that prayer was fulfilled, what Sri Ramakrishna observed, those who have already studied the life of Sri Ramakrishna, particularly if you read the Great Master, with the incident and analysis, excellent way our Saradanandaji Maharaj is writing. And in the beginning, in the introduction, he has written, I have not recorded any incident and have not mentioned anything which I personally have not realized. So much authenticity. There, Sri Ramakrishna, when he was in the uttermost point of his devotion, I repeat the word devotion. Ma Kali, the personal goddess, revealed herself. How? In an image? No. The first thing that Sri Ramakrishna experienced, that it is light effulgent, all pervading, right from the firmament, right from the sky, down to everything covered with that consciousness. Waves after waves, like the wave of light covering the whole. He was praying to a personal goddess Kali. And what was the prayer? Let me know who actually you are. And what was the answer? All pervading consciousness. So, through the path of bhakti, one can attain knowledge. When Sri Ramakrishna is telling that, from his own experience he is telling it. Not that just giving an argument, oh, one can, not like that. He himself experienced. So, this is very, very important. Thousands of years. All these people, as we call them Pandit, very learned people, learned in scriptures, they were arguing thousands of years whether the path of knowledge is the best or path of bhakti is the best. Path of knowledge, what type of knowledge they get, what type of experiences in the path of bhakti, what type of experiences. So many years. Now here Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna combining. No difference. That is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. Those are the specialities of Sri Ramakrishna. He has experienced all this himself and then coming and telling us, look at this, one can attain the knowledge of Brahman too by following the path of bhakti. God is all powerful. He may give his devotee Brahma Jnana also if he so wills. But the devotee generally doesn't seek the knowledge of the Absolute. Generally, the devotee do not seek the knowledge of Absolute. Sri Ramakrishna, he was praying for that, he got that. The devotee is asking the God to come to him and this and that. So naturally, whatever they are praying, they get it. Again, Vijay is arguing, but those who discriminate according to the Vedanta philosophy also realize him in the end, doesn't they? Those who are discriminating according to the path of knowledge, they are also realizing him. Master, yes, one may reach him by following the path of discrimination too. That is called Jnana Yoga, but it is extremely difficult path. And here we find in the Bhagavad Gita also, Sri Krishna is telling, who can say what was the sloka of Sri Krishna? The Jnana Yoga is very difficult. Klesha adhikatarastesham abhyakta asakta chetasam Apyattahi gati dukkham dehabadbhi abhapyate. See, 3000 years before Sri Krishna said this, you can realize God through knowledge, of course, but klesha adhika, very difficult. When you are living in this body, when you are eating, you are sleeping, you are telling I to this body, at the same time you are meditating, I am not, I am not, I am not. Is it not very difficult? Totally paradoxical. I am telling I am not. Again I am telling come to me. What is this I? So that is why they say there is a story that the old Veda Vyasa was sitting by the side of the Yamuna, and then those the Gopinis, they came to him and told, we have heard that you have lot of miraculous power. Can you please help us to cross the river because there is no boat? He said, I can. I can ask the Jamuna to give you the way and you can walk. But the thing is, I am hungry, give us some food. And they gave all that they were having. After eating all those things, what he said, O Yamune, O the river goddess, if I have not eaten anything, then give a path, make a path. And the Jamuna, the water, they say, it was divided and the path was found, and they walked, wondering how come that he has eaten everything that we were carrying. And he said that I have not eaten. If I have not eaten, that means I am not the body. I am giving the oblation. Who is there inside? The Pura. Pura means inside my heart. Who is there? Purusha. And who is the Purusha? Sahasraksha, Sahasrapat, Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha. He is having thousands of heads. If the artist is drawing 1000 heads, no, wrong. All that you see, the heads, are nothing but the God itself. Right from the smallest creature crawling on the floor, on the earth, up to the Buddha, all is nothing but the God. So Sahasraksha, Sahasrapat, Sahasra means without any number. Sahasra means infinite. So that is the Purusha, and that Purusha is within the heart, and that is within me. I am offering all the oblations to him. I, who is in this body, I don't have any connection with this I. So that is Sri Ramakrishna's Paka Ami, ripen I. I am not this body, I am not this body, I am not this body. But at the same time, Sri Ramakrishna is also telling, I am hungry, give me food. I like to eat that type of food. I like to meet him. I like to go over there. All this related to this body only, but at the same time, no I consciousness in this body. How? The same Sri Ramakrishna. When he was meditating in a room in one corner, Yamindar Mathur Babu's house, another person, a priest, he was passing through that room. And they were so angry, jealous of Sri Ramakrishna, because the landlord, the Mathur Babu, he was very much attached and devoted to Sri Ramakrishna. Other people, they were thinking, we know so many slokas, this person do not know anything. We mugged up almost all the Veda and the Bhagavata, we can recite it, we can chant the mantras. How come that the landlord is not giving attention to us, not paying that respect as he is paying to the Sri Ramakrishna? Landlord was really a very, I must say, lucky person. He could find the God in the person of Sri Ramakrishna. And the Bhagavad Gita again, Sri Krishna is telling, the people do not understand me, the God. I am living with them. But they don't understand. Why? Momo Maya Durattaya, because of my own Maya. Here, at least Mathur Babu understood. And the Rani Rashmani, she also understood. They felt, if not 100 times, they felt a great urge to pay respect to Sri Ramakrishna. That was a great thing. Now, when Sri Ramakrishna was meditating in that lonely room, that person who was passing carrying some charcoal fire, lighted fire, lighted charcoals, that fire. When he saw that Sri Ramakrishna is sitting over there, look at this, he is a priest. He is a worshipper of God. But what type of mentality? He put that lighted charcoal on the shoulder of Sri Ramakrishna and told, oh, you are all showing, you are making all drama to win the heart of our Jamindar. Okay. You are meditating. Let me see how much concentration you are having. Then he left that over there. Sri Ramakrishna, in the beginning, he couldn't feel that it is burning. And when that was burning, and the smell of burning of the flesh, people they came rushing and saw Sri Ramakrishna in that condition. Of course, they treated him. It was so painful, he suffered for many, many days, but didn't utter a single word against that person. He could understand who has done it, but didn't say anything. Why? Long afterwards, he was telling that I had no body consciousness. No body consciousness. Can you imagine? And that is called jnana. And similarly, we find the same thing in young Narendranath. He went to Dakshineshwar. He was sitting bare body because it was summer time. He was sitting under the banyan tree of Dakshineshwar. That tree is still there. And in the evening, it was so much, thousands of mosquitoes covered his whole body. Girish Chandra Ghosh also went and tried to meditate. But it was so difficult to concentrate because of the mosquito bite. Girish Ghosh, he came out and then he looked at Narendranath and he saw that he is sitting over there just like a stone image. No consciousness of the body. That's why Sri Ramakrishna liked him so much. When he first entered into the room of Sri Ramakrishna, he looked at him and he said, from Calcutta, a young man of this age, without any body consciousness, that is the thing. The moment, the more and more we are having the body consciousness, afterwards Swami Vivekananda explained, it is the animal consciousness. It's not it's the animal, more animal instinct within. That's why the body, and to satisfy the body. But the more the consciousness that is there, the self-consciousness, so it becomes slowly upwards the godly. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, yes, it is possible, but the difficulty is very much, but it is extremely difficult. The feeling that the body is identical with the soul will somehow crop up from an unexpected quarter. One cannot get rid of this identification with the body. Therefore, the path of bhakti is best for the people of the Kali Yuga. The path of devotion is best for the Kali Yuga. So sometimes some of our Swamis are also very strict and they will be only following the path of Jnana Yoga. And those who are following the path of bhakti, they look down upon them. They say, oh, they are all bhaktas. Even the followers of Sri Ramakrishna philosophy, It's so difficult. So you have to be mold in the Sri Ramakrishna mold, you have to get the shape. Otherwise, difficult to follow Sri Ramakrishna philosophy. Very, very difficult. It is combination of all. Those who are in the path of bhakti or in the jnana or in karma or in yoga, all are going towards God. I am also going, but I prefer to travel in the path of bhakti, because I feel that is easy for me to understand, easy for me to practice, nothing, no harm. And that is the total combination, is the philosophy, is the path of Sri Ramakrishna, propounded mainly, propagated mainly by Swami Vivekananda. That's why our symbol is giving all the 4 yoga. So that is why Ramakrishna mission, they are Pakka Hindu, the followers of Vedanta, but at the same time are different. And that is why some people came here the other day, and they were, previously they told Bharadanandaji Maharaj they like to come and they like to shoot the arati and all that. When they saw the arati is going on, one after another items he is taking up and showing, they were shooting that, but they were curious to know why all this, so many. So when they came to me, I was talking with them, and slowly they were understanding. They also observed. They told, what is the difference between the Hindu temple in Le Monde and you? We told, we follow the philosophy more, they follow the ritual more. That is, otherwise no difference. But then he was pointing out, there are so many pictures of God and goddesses, mythological gods and goddesses pictures hanging. Look at it. It's a Vedanta, but at the same time so many gods and gods. Then afterwards I removed some of the. When I came to know that people are noticing like that, so obviously the question is coming. So we are Vedanta society. And in the Vedanta society, the philosophy, not that we are not liking the ritual and other things. In this Thursday, we are going to observe the Mahastami and the Ma Durga. Today is the Shashti. So the Mahashashti, so Durga's image is here. As because this place is totally different than our own India. So we are keeping Durga like this, and then on Ashtami day, one day we will have the puja. Some people, they have already completed the puja before the beginning of the puja, because in America you have to do everything in the weekend, and some people will be doing it after the puja. Somehow our devotees are real devotees, they like to come. So in the Thursday evening we have going to get that puja, to observe that puja, etc., etc. So we are observing puja, everything, but at the same time our stress is on the philosophy. Why? So here Sri Ramakrishna is telling that it is possible, but it is not any and every kind of bhakti that enables one to realize God. Again he is telling that just bhakti means mostly emotional bhakti. Bhakti along with knowledge. The Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, Narad Bhakti Sutra, they are all famous masters of bhakti, Narada. And we will see how the Narada and the Shandilya, they are giving the definitions of bhakti. Shankaracharya also giving the definition of bhakti. Bhakti is a must, but only emotion without having any knowledge or critical analysis or idea, it takes us nowhere. Even when we have reached the goal, we do not understand. That is the problem. So this is what, but it is not any and every kind of bhakti that enables one to realize God. One cannot realize God without prema bhakti. You have to have the tremendous devotion and love. Another name of Prema Bhakti is Raga Bhakti, supreme love. Raga, Dvesha, all this we have already read in our the Sunday class. Attachment, tremendous attachment, Raga. Aversion, Dvesha. But the Raga Bhakti, tremendous attachment to God. Tremendous attachment, but that attachment, that power utilized for God realization. That we are giving towards the God. Here we find that Narada is telling, Om Sa Kashmai Parama Prema Rupa. Sa means that bhakti. What is that bhakti? Parama, highest. Prema, love. Rupa, highest love. The highest love is the highest devotion. And the love knows no barter. Swami Vivekananda is telling. What is love? Only giving. I like you, so I give. I have no expectation. I do not expect anything. Is it not same like the jnana? Why I am not expecting anything? Because what I am going to get by getting all these things? Like the Yajnavalkya, when he was going, his wife told, you are having these things. Now you like to distribute or you like to give to us. Why? Because Yajnavalkya told, I won't get the eternal peace by enjoying this external material thing. Then the Maitri, she told, in that case, why should I also accept those? Yenaham na amritasyam tenaham kima kuriyam. Yena aham na amrita. If I do not get the eternal peace, then what I am going to do with all those things? You don't want and you like to give it to me, I also don't want. That is Maitri. That's why she is so respected. Rather teach me, please. She is asking her husband Rishi, before leaving me. He was a Rishi, he was a householder. Now the time has come for him to go and take sannyasa. So he was leaving the hearth and home. At that moment, the second wife, Maitreyi, she is telling, teach me all those things for which you are leaving the home. Then he taught. Maitreyi also realized. So the bhakti and the jnana, parama prema rupa, amrita sarupa cha. Sanskrit cha means and. It is amrita sarupa. Amrit means, we know in amrit means some kind of liquid that we drink. The moment we drink, this body becomes permanent. That's totally a myth. There is nothing like that. There is no such liquid. And then there will be the Grahan, the Ketu, Rahu, Ketu, they came, and secretly the Lord Vishnu was very, very alert not to give those things to the bad people, because if they become immortal, they will go on torturing the people and nobody can kill them. So obviously he was alert not to give anything to them. The story goes like that Purna Kumbha, Ardha Kumbha and the Samudra Manthan, these wonderful stories. Now the Vishnu is deviating them, but one fellow, secretly he came, and when Vishnu was not that much alert, like in a dress, he dressed like as a god, Deva, and he came and he drank, he sipped. But before it went down to the throat, Vishnu cut the head. So up to the face, it is immortal. It is there, undying. And the body is not there. And he is very, very angry with the moon, because the Chandra told that Vishnu that he is drinking. He pointed out. So obviously his anger went to Chandra, and once in a year it comes and try to eat the Chandra, but the poor fellow is not having the throat and the belly, so Chandra goes inside the mouth and come out. So that is called Chandragrahana, Purna Chandragrahana. That is the story in Hindu mythology, and all are very, and he drank up to that, so the face has become immortal. It is not immortality. What is the real immortality? Look at the Bhagavan Buddha, 2500 years, and we are observing his birthday. Bhagavan Buddha. One little boy, he is very serious. His 5th birthday is coming, so he is telling his father, you must have to come to my school. And school means, very clever, the moment there will be the birthday of a boy, you have to feed pizza to all your friends. And the father is not happy that the birthday is approaching, because a lot of money he has to spend. He told, we don't eat, but we have to purchase and give it to the teacher, and she will distribute among. And they are very clever. They will be telling that your birthday is today, you observe, and your birthday is today, but you will observe tomorrow. So that every day they will be having the food in the classrooms, and the children, so they like that, is so serious about the birthday. And not simple birthday. If you say, what is your birthday? No, that one, happy birthday. You have to tell them that you are a happy birthday. You are happy that you were born. We are happy. But the thing is, that is not immortality. What is the immortality? Bhagavan Buddha is immortal. And we say that the Mahavira is immortal. He is living in the body and roaming. How? Because of his devotion. The moment people think about Rama with devotion, they remember Mahavira, because his devotion to Rama, excellent, and each and every one should follow. Amrita. That is called Amrit. Amrit Sarupa Cha. If the moment you have the devotion to God, you become immortal yourself. Devotion to God. I told you that there was a sweeper, he used to clean all the toilets of Dakshineshwar temple. And he one day, because the Brahmins were there in those days, even today in India, those type of people who are scavengers, they are not supposed to come to the Brahmins, particularly the pujaris, those who are temple priests, and even if they come close, they should not touch them. That is a total taboo. Now this person secretly, he knew that Sri Ramakrishna won't mind anything. When Sri Ramakrishna was alone, he came, he touched his feet and prayed, Thakur, won't you give me something, bless me? What do you want? Now this person, so clever, he told, I want that at the time, the moment of my death, you come and give me your darshan. In the Bhagavad Gita, I don't know whether he read the Bhagavad Gita or heard of it. He was so clever. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, right at the moment of death, if you can remember, whatever you will remember, that you will become. So one rishi, he was all through remembering God, but at the fag end of his life, he became very compassionate with a small, what's called the deer, and then a fawn. Constantly it was going on remembering about the fawn, and at the time of death he remembered the fawn, and then in the next life he became a deer. So similarly, if you remember God, so this person remembered God, God really came, And that house, that particular house of that scavenger, sweeper, has become a temple now. All people are going and bowing down over there. Why? The moment you come in contact with God, realize God, develop your total devotion for God, you are immortal. So that is Sa Kasmai Parama Prema Rupa. He is the highest kind of devotion and love. Amrita Sarupacha Yam Labdva Puman Siddho Bhavati Amrito Bhavati Tripto Bhavati. I wanted to tell all these things in our retreat. What happens after God realization? So one lady came and told, I am curious to know what happens after God realization. So I wanted to tell only this, Tripto Bhavati, total satisfaction. So, but I didn't get much time. So then again we will study this afterwards. After the devotion we get this, Yan Labdva Puman Siddho Bhavati. He is realized. Amrit Bhavati. He is totally immortal, no fear of death. And Tripto Bhavati, satisfied for everything. The moment you have some dissatisfaction, still you have not realized God. So when one has realized God, no problem for him. One person is to sit just in front of Sri Ramakrishna's room, and anyone coming to meet Sri Ramakrishna, his duty was to criticize Sri Ramakrishna before he enters. Sri Ramakrishna could hear what he is telling, because only he is sitting near the gate and Sri Ramakrishna is sitting inside on the bed. If you go to Dakshineshwar, some of you have already visited, but never said anything. When the other devotee said, why this fellow is sitting over here and no one will go to him if he is sitting somewhere else. That is why he is getting the opportunity to meet all the people because he is sitting at your gate. And look at this, he is criticizing you. Why you are not asking him to go away from here? He said, Jotile kutile na thagle, lila pastai hoy na. If there is no Jotile kutile, this type of people, if they are not there, then there is no fun in the life. Let them go doing on like that. So when there is no darkness, there is no light. The beauty of the light because of the darkness. So up to this today, and again we will study. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa drita vigraham vai Ishavattaram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.